Hello everyone, today we will talk about the Earth transit. The transiting Earth is in quincunx with natal Saturn. How the transiting Earth will behave in quincunx with natal Saturn depends on the position of the natal Saturn. This transit can be more prominent in your life if you already have planets in aspect to your natal Saturn. But the basics are as follows. The quincunx between the transiting Earth and the natal Saturn introduces a nuanced mix of conflicting energies, often bringing a sense of unease and a need to adjust. Both Earth and Saturn in the transit chart usually indicate that you will face some financial issues during this period. One will affect the other, which will trigger a whole series of events, from which it follows that you will feel a lot of tension and anxiety as a result. Do not embark on serious financial ventures or make big commitments, because you feel insecure or disconnected at the moment. Also, avoid difficult conversations about finances with your partners, especially about the boundaries of authority, because things will come out colder or harsher than you think. Also, skip making important decisions about ending or starting business partnerships. Try not to judge yourself too harshly, as self-criticism is strong during this transit. Don't invest in expensive things just to feel better, because you will regret those purchases later. Don't react to criticism from authority figures by taking it too personally, because others don't think it's as harsh as it sounds, and the transit itself is short-lived. Although such transits associated with Saturn suggest avoiding isolation, in this case isolation is considered positive, as it brings introspection of decisions and consideration of new moves, even if you feel bad at the time. Generally speaking, Earth in a quincunx with Saturn will make some people reconsider their decisions and whether the commitments they adhere to are worth the effort. The transit itself will neither establish nor end property disputes, but will signal a time when it is time to change the schedule of engagements that seem more burdensome than pleasant. Either way, distances or insecurities are common when these two planets cooperate, even though they share the same opinions. The problem is created by the quincunx, which brings hesitation in transactions that are not fully open. Over time, as the transit is repeated twice a year at the same time, learning and trusting one's decisions, and balancing this with responsibility, leads to the creation of deeper, more stable business moves. As we have already stated, the cooperation of Earth and Saturn is always with the same goal, although the quincunx itself hinders the cooperation due to the incompatibility of houses and signs. So it is necessary to reconsider how we spend our money. And a reassessment of banking relationships is needed, because it is also affected by this transit. In translation, you will understand that your excessive enjoyment is the source of your financial problems, but do not ignore your need for fun and pleasure, but also do not overdo it by trying to impose happiness in your search for self-indulgence or filling a void, so as not to put yourself in a bad situation due to excessive spending. So as for example, individuals during this transit experience challenges in social interactions, due to the tension between the desire to enjoy life's pleasures and the feeling of being limited by responsibilities. In addition to financial issues, the enjoyment of food will also be under scrutiny because indulging in such enjoyment would conflict with the need for prudence. So we have a constant feeling as if something is pulling you in two completely different directions. On the one hand you are looking for luxury and pleasure, and on the other your reason is telling you, wait, is this responsible behavior? And do I even need this? The same thing is also visible on a mundane level where challenges and adjustments in the areas of diplomacy, justice, and economics create problems, conflicts or tensions around the values and interests of different groups or nations. This signals the need for compromise or negotiations that are very difficult to reconcile. Also, countries begin to evaluate the agreements they have with each other, re-examining their alliances, setting restrictions or prohibitions in the financial sector, concentrating largely on their budgets. Anyway, although the transit itself is inconvenient, it is very helpful in the long run, because by revising both personal and global pleasures and business interests, it puts things and relationships in order that are not so much in our interest. What is important in your case is to avoid comparing your success with others, because this transit will make you less valuable, but it is only temporary. The transit itself lasts up to 5 days, but the impact will certainly be felt until the next impact, which will be either in 2 months or in 10 months. To get through this transit, be honest with yourself about what is happening. Don't overdo it, but don't deny yourself pleasure either. Find healthy ways to eat to feel better while you deal with your financial problems.